unarmed.
I'd have to disagree with Mark. I think Mark is right to the extent that the system can provide justice. There are examples where it has. Renisha McBride is an example in Detroit not too long ago. Michael Dunn is another example. I could offer a counterexample with Sean Bell and although he and I would probably disagree, I'd say George Zimmerman. You know, we could go on down the list of counter examples, but I don't think it hinges on whether or not a person was found innocent or guilty. Sometimes juries get it right, sometimes juries get it wrong. That doesn't necessarily speak to whether the system is capable of dispensing justice, which is Mark's point. It's a very interesting point. Where I disagree, though, is because there are standards and mechanisms inside of the law that sort of normalize white supremacist ideas of black. For example, I'll give you an example. The reasonable man standard says, essentially you're asking, what would a reasonable person do under these circumstances? If we live in a country that normalizes the idea that black people deserve to die, that black people are dangerous, that black men can't be vulnerable in the street, that lethal force is normal for black folk, then what happens is a juror can use a reasonable man standard and say, yeah, I would do that too. We're codifying and normalizing a white supremacist anxiety about black people. And then we double down on it with laws like Stand Your Ground in certain states, which intensify the violence rather than reduce it.
Marc, do it on the facts.
Oh, I agree. I don't ever want someone to be indicted because of the court of public opinion. Historically, that hasn't worked out so well.
Which, by the way, the court of public opinion, at least the vocal court, says Darren Wilson's guilty.
Absolutely, and I don't want Darren Wilson to be indicted based on the court of public opinion. I've worked to defend political prisoners, defend wrongfully accused people a long time. I don't want that. I want the facts to bear out. I think what people are saying, though, is that this grand jury process is so non-transparent, and that the standard for an indictment is so low that they'd like to see this out in the open in an actual trial. And if Darren Wilson is not guilty, let him be not guilty. I think that's what people are saying. They're not saying forget the facts. Let's just go and hang this guy.
Yeah, people just don't seem to believe. Don't seem to believe that the facts would. Not going to believe the facts then.
And they don't trust the system can produce a just verdict. There's a legitimate critique of that.
All right. Thank